Wake Up MLS match day 34 in the same week as match day 33. We're doubling up on a full slate of MLS matches coming up at the weekend. At the time of this video coming out, it will be just a day before. We're 2 days removed from midweek madness here in MLS. Look, lads, as a Dallas fan, I'm depressed, so we're gonna fucking get through this episode as fast as we humanly can. Not a great look for myself. Mo, I don't want to drag you down, bro. You're kind of the same boat as we are. But we're going to have fun. This episode's going to be a good time, bro. I'm excited. I'm glad Mo's back, by the way.
Hey, you cannot drag me as far as I am right now. So.
Yeah, without further ado, man, always joined by a great cast and crew. We got Hector from Insert Name FC. We got Musa from Mo Football. And we have Davi from the Blue Burrows Pod again here today to preview and predict match day 34 games. And look, we're this close to decision day, right? I'm just over a month away. Every team right now that's close to that playoff line is battling tooth and nail for it. Some already have security, but just, not necessarily in the best position. Davi, looking at you, bro, looking at you. We'll talk about it. But if you haven't done so already, or if you're brand new to the channel, again, like the video, subscribe to Goals TV. We have a ton of content on this channel, only more coming as we near the end of the Major League Soccer season. So, lads, let's go ahead and get into it. Our first matchup, I alluded to it already. Crazy game between NYCFC and Philadelphia. Crazy if you're a Philly fan anyway. 5 goals pumped in on the road in that baseball stadium against New York City FC. Davi, man, let's before we preview this, man, just in general, what's the thought? What's the the feeling right now around your club?
Cushing out
all the way.
That's it.
Do you not feel like
at home?
Do you not feel like there's no outside of Cushing? Is there not another leader on this team?
Not really.
That's crazy, bro.
There's really no leader on this team. It's captaincy by committee, and I mean, at this point, just get a new manager in there that's actually going to command some respect.
You think that's what it is? I feel like at this point it's pride, bro. Because how long has it been since? Was it July 3rd? Last game you guys won in regular season?
It's 8 games.
8 games straight without any kind of a full max points.
Well, that's going back to Leagues Cup, so it's 8 games.
Yeah,
but still, that's not good.
Yeah.
So were you saying Cushing out, and you mentioned that it's a captain by committee kind of thing, but still not like a real leader that steps out of this, as far as from what I'm getting from NYCFC. Is it new coach? That's it. That's the solution, or is it one of those things where we got to take out some of the cancers of the locker room, if you will, and add in some new perspective players, guys that can change the mentality right away, kind of do a complete 180?
I think some of these players have been here a long time. You just got to rip the band-aid and let them go. I think Keaton Parks is one of them. I've been a big Keaton supporter. I love Keaton, but last night I think he's got to go. I think there's some of these players on the roster that's got to go as well. I think Munsa Bakar, he's got to go. Who else? I think James Sands. I think you got to move on from him. He's regressed. This is Nick Cushing.
Can you still cash in on Sands? I feel like, is he still MLS caliber, or could he move abroad?
I mean, he'll probably move abroad and probably just I don't know. I can't be bothered. I think you got to rip the band-aid off some of these players. You got to get new faces and new voices in there, and ultimately you need a new coach with the mentality that doesn't deflect blame on anything else, and just takes it all on himself and is honest and actually goes for winning games, because that's been costing us lately. And look at those 11 losses. It's unacceptable at this point. And a 5-1 loss to a rival at home, that's, quite frankly, it's unacceptable. Letting in 3 goals in 15 minutes, that's crazy.
It is crazy, bro. And we talked about this before the show started. It's so difficult for me and maybe there's an example, maybe there's an outlier out there. I really can't point to it right now, but I can't think of a time I've seen a manager go from a down season, which you guys had last year, to putting them into a playoff position, getting them into playoffs, get let go or get fired. That's legitimately progression that most teams are begging for, right? The Chicago Fires of the world, as an example, who are, by the way, looking at Triple G as the hire, which, hey, Davi, it could be worse, bro. It could be worse. You know what I mean?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We've been winning we've been in the playoffs for 6 straight seasons outside of season 1, and we won the cup in 2021. It doesn't matter. We're not a club that just fucking just plays with a piece of string and just accepts mediocrity unless in the past 2 seasons. And we've just been winning a lot. And when you get to a point where it's like, you win the cup, and then you expect more, they just regress. It's like they've gotten complacent. And you know what, I think this 5-1 loss, I think it'll be positive for the club. I don't think it'll be positive for some of these players and the management that needs to overlook this, and they need to look themselves in the mirror and give themselves a hard look, because this is not good.
Yeah.
And hopefully this lights a fire under them, and hopefully they realize it's unacceptable and we need to start winning, especially with the new stadium coming in a couple seasons. They need to win now. These next 2 years are crucial. David Lee's been tasked with winning an MLS Cup prior to 2027 or in 2027. So that's either the couple years we have left of going to baseball stadiums and the first year of the new stadium. He's tasked with winning an MLS Cup. Nick Cushing's not going to win us anything. So at this point, strip the Band-Aid off, say you failed. Nick Cushing is nothing but a certified loser and a CFG puppet. You just get someone in there that's an outsider that's going to shake things up and imply his own ideas, and that has a winning mentality, and we'll go from there. I bet you bring in a coach with a winning mentality and some couple fresh faces that can replace the likes of Keaton Parks, James Sands, and get somebody that can actually play center back with Thiago Martins, because Tanya Savage is not the answer. Brick Risa gets hurt; he can't stay fit more than 5 minutes. So that's my little rant. But I'm
Hector,
telling you, once you get a new coach in there that actually knows how to win games, you'll see the results.
Hector, what's your response to that? That's all I saw you about to talk.
Yeah, I think obviously, Jose, when you were talking about like it's hard to fire a coach when you get into the playoff when they get into playoffs, but I think it goes back to one of our biggest complaints about the MLS, and that there's just too many playoff teams to begin with. Like more than half the league goes into the playoffs anyways. I mean, literally, there's nine playoff positions if you want to count the wild card spots.
18 teams total.
Yeah. So
but they're in sixth, bro. Like it's not like they're like they're not in a wild card spot.
And I'm not disagreeing to that, but I think like when it's already very inclusive, like the inclusivity of the playoffs, aside from I don't know 6 or 8 teams. I mean, aside from that, I think that it's still I think you can. I don't think I've seen it in the MLS where you have a coach that got a team to the playoffs and get fired. I don't think I've seen that as far as I can recollect. But I mean, if things are looking like the way it's looking for NYCFC, which when we came back from Leagues Cup, they were in a really good, promising playoff position. And I mean, 6th place isn't a bad spot to be in. You're not in that wild card spot, but it is. You're going to go on the road. You're going to go on the road in that 3-game series that you have to play in, and that's not necessarily a favorable position. And like this is not how you want to go into the playoffs, even if you get in. And I kind of understand what Davi's going into it. Like, okay, cool, we're in the playoffs, but whoever we end up going against, because more than likely it's going to be a higher seed. It's probably not going to end well for NYCFC.
Yeah, it'll probably be one of the Ohio teams that have just kicked their asses in the past 2 years.
Yeah, but
so
again,
I think the exit if NYCFC, like let's say they stay in 6th place, whoever is the team that they're supposed to be paired up with for 6th place, which I'm assuming is the 3rd place team. I'm just saying, like, if they get swept, like, wouldn't Citigroup want to go ahead and move on from that manager if they're not? Yeah, they're in the playoffs, but they just got swept by whoever they ended up playing against.
Yeah.
So
it depends how embarrassing it is. But go ahead, Mo.
Oh, no, I'm just wondering, because we're talking about I get Cushing as the coach being out. So what are your thoughts on like sporting director and those decision makers that bring in those players? Because from what we gather, coaches are just sporting director says, here are the players you have, do what you have to do with that roster.
That's a good point. It's a very good point.
It's either CFG fires them, fires David Lee, or David Lee gets one more chance and fires Cushing and actually brings in a manager that knows what the hell he's doing. Yeah, I mean, if David Lee, like, he's been here since 2019, he's been here for 4 years. He oversaw that cup run. He got the finishing touches on what was Claudio Reyna's team. With the manager and a couple other key signings that brought us to the promised land in 2021. I think he just got way too complacent. I just thought that success would just automatically roll in 2023 and 2024. 2023 was an absolute failure of a season. 2024 looks like it might be another failure of a season, but this time we're actually into the playoffs and we'll probably get humid. We won't even make it to game 3. I guarantee you, no matter who we play, if we make it within the top 7, in the top 7 seeds, we won't even make it at game 3. I can guarantee you right now, we won't make it to game 3. It'll be ugly in both games. And I think if you lose ugly in playoffs, and doesn't matter how you got to the playoffs, if you lose ugly, I think Nick Cushing's got to go.
It's interesting, right? Like, I think there's a couple factors here too. Before we move on to the preview part, I think the one big factor stats to me, like it touches on what Mo said, which, and you mentioned it too, Davi. You guys are building a stadium, right? Anybody knows who's been through a new stadium build, and my club, with Dallas, about to go through the same thing. When you go through that, you kind of have to pinch expenses everywhere, right? You can't go out and like spend the way you want to spend, grab a new coach, a new director, some new DPs. Like, you can't really do that because a lot of the funds that you have are allocated to the new stadium, right? So, and that's what that happens everywhere globally. Except for, I would say the only team that probably would be immune to that would be Manchester City if they ever wanted to redo the Etihad. But putting that aside, right, going into this game against Miami, this probably is like the one true test of where you guys are. I think the Philadelphia game, it's bad. It kind of feels like rock bottom when you think about all of the other games where you threw a lead away, or you drew when you easily could have won, whatever the case may be. This is the real test to see maybe where you guys are going to stack up in that Eastern Conference playoff picture. And look, again, many of these scenarios were not Messi, right? Messi wasn't here. Messi and company weren't here. Last year, though, right? You guys did not lose to Inter Miami. You drew one and you won one. You actually haven't lost to Inter Miami since like 2022.
That was our only loss.
Yeah.
And which if you count the Noche d'Or, we actually won that game, which is crazy. Messi was on the pitch for the whole 90 minutes, and we actually made him look kind of human in that game.
Yeah, and I would say Atlanta kind of did that. Maybe you could blame it on the turf or whatever, right? But Atlanta was very, very close to winning that game last night. Like, they really, really were. It's kind of wild, right, when you think about it, that like Miami can look human at the end of the day.
I just think that at the Atlanta, they're just playing for jobs at this point. They're just playing for jobs, and they're playing for moves to Europe.
I don't think so.
Suitors.
What was that player's name? I can't remember his fucking name.
Saba?
There was, I might have been. No, who did they interview at the end? I can't remember his name. It'll come back to me. But there was a player interview at the end where he mentioned that we are all in on getting as much out of this season as humanly possible. We want to make playoffs. We're going to do whatever it takes to get there. It sounded like there's this fire.
Because they fired their coach. They weren't playing for Pineda. These players are not playing for Cushing. They're just rolling around there. I don't think anyone's playing for Cushing at this point. And if you're not playing for your manager, then you're just playing to play. So you're not going to do your best. At that point, it's like, yeah, sure, you could blame the players all you want, but at the end of the day, the responsibility is going to fall on the coach. And if the results aren't going his way, you just got to get rid of him.
So historically, you guys have performed really well against Miami. You're automatically thinking you're going to be at this game, right?
Yeah, and at this point, I'm just going to enjoy Messi. I don't care about the result.
Oh no,
we could lose 5-1.
I was about to bust out that
really
Argentina jersey.
Yeah, I was about to put that 10 on real quick.
I can't do that. I can't.
Hey, if you want, bro, I got a Messi kit you could borrow. I got a few of them actually.
Bro, I'm good. I got a few of my own, but
I got a Messi kit
I'm
too.
good.
Yeah. I think most of us do. Look, bro, I just think it's interesting, right? Look, despite what happened against Philadelphia, MLS has this nature of it where teams have goldfish memory. That you 1 minute you're rock bottom, the next you're top of the world, and vice versa. We've seen it, right? We saw Galaxy come back in El Tráfico and then get smacked up by Portland. Like it happens. So with this game, what's your prediction then? Going into this, you're 23 points off of Miami, which kind of crazy, very top-heavy Eastern Conference. They just came off a draw against a team that's fighting for playoffs, not even in there yet. Can you guys win?
No.
No? So what's the score?
5-0 Miami.
No fucking way. There's no way Messi goes on that baseball and just demolishes you guys
Messi's
5-0.
getting his first hat trick at Yankee Stadium. Messi's getting his first hat trick there.
Interesting.
And you know what? I'm gonna enjoy it because I want Cushing out of here. I don't care. If he,
This man's hate watching his own team at his own stadium. That's crazy.
I mean, here's the thing. I can either invest and get hurt or just not care at all and not get it'll still hurt, but still it's like, you know, if you don't care, you're just not gonna get heartbroken as much.
You guys ever see that movie back in the day, Robots, the animated movie? Like
with Robin Williams.
Yes, that movie. There's this scene where one of the robots is like, never try, never fail. And that's the motto I walk through in life. That's what that shit sounds like to me right now. Like Davi's just like, you know what? If I don't get amped up for my own team playing in this game,
we really just aged ourselves on this one.
That's fine. That's fine. Either way, great movie, by the way. Either way, I just feel like, bro, I don't know. I get like John and Xiaoyan vibes just hearing Davi talk about his team now, even though you're in a significantly better position than some of us on the show.
You ever notice it's always the younger people?
I know, bro.
Context matters, bro. Context matters.
It does. But like, I feel like
we're over here like Bane. You're just merely adopted depression.
Yeah, bro. It's just interesting, right? But look, we got Davi's pick. He thinks Miami are going to come in and steamroll NYCFC. I think actually it's going to be close. Man, dude, Miami draw twice in a row. That's the real question.
No.
I'm going to say 1-1.
Crazy.
Crazy.
I think, especially when you're like at least in that gambler's mindset. I know MLS is kind of different, but when you have that gambler's mindset, you have the thought of like teams don't tend to have back-to-back terrible performances. I do think NYCFC is not going to get a win in this game. Well, the positive is Yankee Stadium actually uses grass. So I mean, like there's the point for
and
Miami.
they're not used to the small field.
They're not used to the small field, so I think that there's at least a learning curve for Miami. Whereas once again, NYCFC, it's their advantage, right? They're used to playing on that field. They're used to playing with the dimensions. They can move, they can maneuver, and kind of gauge how far they have to go with passes and shots and all that. And I think that favors them in some sense. I do. The 1-1 draw doesn't seem that far-fetched when you think about it. And I do think that I do see NYCFC not going full 5-0. Is everybody good? We're good.
I heard 5-0 in
the background. I just called
That's the sound of the police.
They're coming to arrest Davi for that horrendous take, bro.
No. I called it on Cushing. He's getting out. He's going back to Manchester.
Clip that one. But yeah, I'm gonna say 2-1. 2-1 for Miami. I think right. I think they find a way. If there's one thing we know is the mind checkers that Messi has during the field is something that we have to put into attention. But yeah, a 2-1 for Miami.
Mo?
I'm gonna go for Miami 3-1. I'm just amazed of how Suarez is literally just scoring at will, and Miami not playing with Messi and still winning to this point and having 63 points. I think they're pretty much making us all eat our words little by little. So
he's scoring at will, but keep in mind there's about a 5-goal difference between him and Martinez, who's NYCFC's leading goal scorer.
Yeah,
so
it's our only positive, like bright light. Him, Santi, Tavon, and Matt Freese. Those are the only 4 players that really.
And look, if Matt Freese has a crazy game, you just never know, right? You never really know at the end of the day. And I will touch before we move on. I'll touch on Mo's point really fast. Suarez is seemingly scoring at will right now. If Messi's in the MVP conversation at the end of the day, as much as I love Messi and he is the greatest player I've ever seen touch a soccer ball or a football, there's no way he deserves to be there. The man's played like 13 or 14 games. There's no way he deserves to be in that MVP conversation. In fact, I'll go on the limb and say guys like Evander from Portland deserve it more than Messi right now. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me. I think MLS is trying so hard to include him in that race, and it just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, we'll see. This is going to be one of the first games on. It is right. It's the afternoon game,
It's
actually.
the very first game, yeah.
The very first game on Saturday.
Just to close on this note, I think if we lose to Miami, we lose to the Red Bulls, and we lose to Cincinnati, I think Cushing's gone at the end of the season. No matter if we make the playoffs or not, I think Cushing's gone at the end of the season.
That's not a bad shout. Those are 3 interesting games. A tough little stretch there. We'll see how it goes.
In the form that suggests we could lose them all.
Yeah, we'll find out. All right, let's move on to Columbus hosting Orlando. Guys, Orlando, man, we got to talk about this team. This is going to be a tricky game for Columbus. It really will be. Of course, Columbus is coming off the 2-0 win at Toronto, right? Very clinical, win on the road for the defending champions. But guys, and I know Charlotte's not in the best form. They're somewhat like NYCFC in the sense that their best run of form came in the middle of the year. And now it just feels like they're running out of steam. Even on the defensive side of the ball, it's just not really what it was. And at home, it could be a different story. But this one was on the road, and they couldn't get it done. Orlando right now are actually in what is it, Hector? They're having this series of championship DVD moments, bro. Like your pick at the beginning of the year, not a bad shout anymore. It really isn't.
I went from being called a total idiot to hold up.
Hold up. Let them cook.
Look, what I saw from Orlando last season, I thought they were going to build on it. I thought the addition of Lodero was a good addition. I mean, I thought Muriel, from what I remember from him torturing all the Italian teams over there at Atalanta, I thought was a good addition up front. Facundo Torres, he's going to go to Europe at some point. I'm hoping sooner rather than later, but everything I felt for the attack was going to be a good thing. Obviously they came up, they were so close to making it to the MLS Cup. Obviously they unfortunately had to go up against the team that we're talking about here right now. But yeah, Orlando was really good. I thought that they, especially when we talk about MLS, if you're not getting better, if you're not adding things to your roster, you're getting worse. And I think adding a savvy MLS veteran like Lodero, maybe doesn't have all the legs on him yet, but can still be beneficial, especially on the attack. Yeah. And then adding Muriel, I thought that was a really smart signing. So I thought, yeah, it's a no-brainer. This team could very much be the team that lifts the MLS Cup. And I wasn't the only person that had this crazy take.
No, and all those people got ripped too. It wasn't just you, bro. Like everybody was getting slammed. Anybody who picked Orlando as the Eastern Conference champion or like challenging Columbus was getting slammed for like the first half of the season. Really, just taking that take across the chin. And now,
to be fair, they took them to extra time last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, they did. And
yeah.
Even that match by Columbus, it really had to be a perfect match. When Orlando, they were down a man and still keeping that a game, still getting chances in that second leg. Like it was crazy. I remember it. And
it's just Columbus. You know why they succeed? Because they have a good coach. And they have the players to do it. I mean,
they have the players to do it, right? They got a Cucho Hernandez. I mean,
they have not only that, but the players are bought in with Columbus.
Yes. Yeah, but Nancy's made him better. He has, right? He's made guys like the guy I think about instantly is Christian Ramirez. Not that Ramirez was a bad player before Nancy came in. It's just that he's clearly taking a step up in his game. He really
a bit of a journeyman before he came here.
He was through and through. And I'm really impressed with what Nancy's done. But on the other side, Orlando, since losing, ironically enough, to NYCFC back in late June, they in the last 12 matches, including Leagues Cup, they've only lost one in the last 12. Outside of that, it has been nothing but 3 points sprinkled in with a few draws here and there. And ironically, that one loss, bro, I don't even know how it happened. It's a one-off in my opinion. It was a 3-0 to Sporting Kansas City. So, when you just think about this form that Orlando finds themselves in, to me, that we could be seeing this weekend a rematch of the Eastern Conference Final, right? Like this is a playoff game through and through. This is one that every MLS fan should be tuning into. I think this is going to be, despite the 10 points between them, I think it's going to be a very close game. And Orlando, to me, is actually better on the road. Can they go to Columbus and get a result? I don't know. It's a kind of a difficult thing to do at lower.
They got the form to do it, though. They got the form to do it.
Yeah, but to me, they've always been better on the road. And having a former FC Dallas coach down there in Oscar Pareja, it makes me inclined to cheer for them, and see if there's a way they could pull it out this weekend and give them even more momentum as they climb towards decision day. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm back in Orlando in this one. Just form, man. Like they're the hot hand. I know how clinical Columbus is, but if they can stop Cucho, they got a real shot at winning this game on the road. I think I'm gonna back Orlando.
I'm back Columbus.
I'll take Columbus. They're at home, so
Fair enough.
they've shown that they brought in, I guess, teams like LAFC at their home that were in form and made them feel like normal people. So I'll say Columbus.
There was a point Hector made that about the if you're not adding players to your roster, you're just letting them go. You're getting worse. I kind of want to open back up the NYCFC thing. That's what happened in 2023. Like that's literally what happened in 2023. And then like in the summer window, they were like, "Oh shit, we actually need to sign some players." They signed like 6 players, still fell short of making the playoffs, and that's ultimately that came back and bit them in the ass. They've been back pushing since day one. So, yeah, I mean, to what Hector said, that is valid. I mean, you just got to look at NYCFC in 2023. That's enough evidence right there to suggest that his point is completely 100% valid.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you.
I agree.
I think, but like kind of going back with Orlando, man. I think the thing was because you added Ladera, you added Muriel. Those are, in my opinion, 2 very important positions for Pareja's attack, at least for his tactics. And you're throwing him in. Now you're throwing them into this season, but then they had Triple C. So they had a lot of things going on where they kind of had to get thrown into the fire and hope they can gel. And I know people say off season, but nothing's going to be the same until you're playing an actual match. And I think that hurt them a lot. That's why they had the terrible start that they had. But now, kind of funny enough, kind of how we talked about Colorado, we were more patient with Colorado, which was because they added like a crap load of players. But we knew that eventually when everything starts clicking, this team's going to start humming. And I think that now we're seeing that with Orlando. I just, when it comes down to it, man, it's just hard to go against Wilfried Nancy, man. The dude is just a mastermind. He's an evil genius. He's diabolical. he's all the things that you could think of, any words. And you know what? He's not afraid to tell the truth. That's the other thing about that guy, and I respect him. And so, but yeah, the guy, you give him time to prepare, he'll find a way to discombobulate that Orlando attack. So I'm going with Columbus.
All right, man. It's crazy how the guy who picked Orlando City to take it all is not back.
But this will be featured on the championship DVD because there's like, this is where they face animosity, and then they come in into the rest.
It's that layer of adversity that builds the champion. I feel that. All right. We'll see. This game is historically close, by the way.
This is where you start hearing the Imagine Dragons like coming in.
It's just playing in the background, getting subtly louder. Yeah, I like that. All right, man. We'll see. This is going to be a game. To me, this is potential for game of the week. I think if Facundo Torres masterclass might be incoming on the side of Orlando, but we'll find out. All right, let's move down into Texas. I think the last. I'm not going to call it a Texas derby because that is Dallas versus Houston.
I was so pissed at MLS for calling it the Texas derby.
Bro,
I was like, no,
it is what it is. Yeah, but I was going to call it a Copa Tejas match, but ironically enough, Dallas already took home Copa Tejas this season. So, and this is why, Hernan, I hope you're watching and listening. Copa Tejas doesn't mean a damn thing. It doesn't mean anything. The team who won Copa Tejas is literally sitting outside of the playoffs. Like, it doesn't mean anything, right? In my opinion. Like, that could be a hot take, but like, Dallas fans might even hate me for that. I don't really care. It's just it's a non-existent wannabe trophy.
It's not a real trophy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. All I care about is trying to either win Open Cup or MLS. Like it doesn't matter outside of that. Now, with that said, putting that aside, Austin have to win this fucking game. They have to. They had to beat LAFC, to be honest. They drew better result than I thought they were going to get. Somehow, guys, I don't know if you guys saw the timeline today, but Driussi is going off the deep end. Going off the deep end, man. This man.
I wish some NYCFC players could say the same thing,
bro. But it's crazy. When have we seen a player do this, bro? Like, when have we seen a player legitimately retweet like other fans who want him and Wolf out? Like I've never seen that. And now he's just like, fuck it, you want me out? Sure, sell me. I don't care anymore. Like, and I get it, but this man also came from Argentina. You know what I'm saying? Like played professionally down there. It's got to be significantly more hostile than MLS. Like, how is this bugging you that much? Like them holding you to a standard, even if the fans are casual, plastic, whatever, and they flip flop on you every game. Like, so what? Like, isn't that what you experienced down in Argentina, but probably worse? I don't know, man. To me, it's soft.
He's like,
it's
death
soft.
threats is one thing, but a tweet.
I draw the line at tweets. Fuck that shit. I just don't get it, bro. To me, it's like he's gotten soft out of nowhere. Being in America, maybe, I don't know. It's a really weird dynamic going down in Austin. But anyway, looking at Austin, looking at Houston coming into town, they're only a couple hours apart. Houston's a good road team. I don't know. To me, if Austin doesn't win this game, the playoff push is probably over. I just don't see how they make up the ground, especially if Minnesota beats Kansas City, which is a very real possibility this weekend. I don't know, man. This is going to be a tough game. Hector, you're the Dynamo fan here. I think the last time, how did it end up last time you guys played at Austin at the Q2? I think it was Austin won 1-0. It was a 1-0 win.
Okay, and then the last 2 times we've been tying with them. So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this year I don't think the Dynamo got a single victory off of any of the Texas teams so far this year. So not, I mean, as far as like bragging rights for the state of Texas, not the year for the Dynamo. But I kind of mentioned it. It's like at home, it's just, I don't know what happens at home, but it's just they just don't perform well. But as soon as they're on the road, they look like a completely different team. The defense is I think that's one of the beauties of having a defense is when you can go on the road and be lights out defensively. The attack just needs to find their opportunity. And I think that's going to be the big part is because every time the Dynamo has played Austin, it's been very tooth and nail, very physical games. And I'll say it, every time the Dynamo feels like they're the better team on the field, but unfortunately they do a slip up to Drusy and he scores a goal. So that's kind of the recipe that every time I watch Austin FC versus Dynamo has been this season. And I think the Dynamo need to be more clinical up front. And when that eventual slip up, which will happen eventually, and if Steve Clark can't get it, or Mikhail can't get it, or Shevchenko can't get it, you don't want to look at that goal and be like, that just took out their 2 points away from us, or we just lost the game. So I think the Dynamo need to be a lot more cleaner up front. Someone needs to score goals, man. At this point, I can care less who's the one scoring the goals. Just someone, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You're the goal scorer today.
Yeah, fair enough. And by the way, these are the tweets that I'm referencing. These two, right? Trade Seba, fire Josh. He reposted that. I think it's time to move on from Driussi and find a decent 10 in the market. So far, so good. He reposted that as well. It's like he wants out, and it's kind of wild to me.
Those are the move where you're pretty much telling the front office, just bench me or send me with the academy kids until my stuff are packed.
Yeah. And by the way, this reminds me of, I don't know if you guys saw this clip. If you guys aren't familiar, this is, this is kind of going way out there, but if you guys know who Troy Deeney is, he did a pod with, it's FFS, I think it was, where he talked about when he wanted out and how far he was willing to go. And he was like willing to literally gain a bunch of weight, hurt players in training. Like he was going to force his way out entirely. I don't think Driussi is going to go that far.
He went full James Harden and Jimmy
Butler.
Full,
bro. Like he was saying, he was like, I was going to do whatever it absolutely took. He was trying to force the move to Leicester. This was like right after Leicester won the title. It's just kind of crazy, man, what some players will do. This is not that bad, but I can't remember a time I've seen this in MLS before where I've seen a player just be like, yeah, you know what? If you guys feel that, that adamantly about it, sell me, bench me. At the end of the season,
I will say this, because I know a lot of people give a lot of flack to MLS fans that they don't put pressure on the teams, that the media might be one thing, but you're watching the wrong media. You should be watching us, Coles TV.
Yes, right.
Plug.
Subscribe down below.
But everyone acts like the fans don't criticize the team, or flip side, when fans do criticize the team, oh, you're negative. Oh, you should be supportive regardless what no, this is how be lucky we're not in Mexico and Argentina.
Fact.
Like, because that gets very scary. But like but fans are vocal. Fans have been proven to be vocal. I mean, even Dynamo
Look
fans.
at me. Me.
Look, Javi's a perfect example.
I've been saying Christian shit since 2022, since he took over.
Fair. As you were saying, Hector.
But yeah, like, I mean, even Dynamo fans, like when the Dynamo was just god awful, which is not that long ago. Like there were Dynamo fans that were just like, we're not standing for this anymore. Ownership was like, trying to hear them out. They had like a lot of like city council meetings with the Dynamo fans and Dynamo ownership. Did it help? I don't know. But I'll let them believe it helped. But but even then, Dynamo fans got really weird. Like they were complaining about the mesh seating, which I love. But like the fans are like, oh, we could have spent this money on a player. And I'm like, I like being comfortable. Comfortable sounds nice, especially with not sitting on a plastic chair with the sun beaming on it. Also, the fan, maybe it does something. I don't know. I've never felt the difference. But I'm just saying, like, fans have been critical. And everyone's trying to act like we don't care about our teams. Like, is there a small percentage of MLS fans in the United States? Definitely. But the ones that are there are very loud and are very proud and are very critical of their teams. You don't have that. We aren't soccer moms. We're not going to cheer the team and give you orange slices. Like, that's not how we are. Like, we're going to tell you when you suck, and we're going to, like, I haven't said one positive thing about a Dynamo score, and Jose can tell you that for a fact.
Facts, big facts.
I fully let you.
Which, he technically has created like the most big chances for Houston, but I see why, right? You hold him accountable. I agree. I think to me, this is just, it's too emotional. It's too emotional from Driussi, like especially with the background that you come from. Now,
as a player, you have to learn to not listen to that.
Yeah, thick skin, bro. And especially again with your background. Like if you were like an entitled, frankly, an entitled American who grew up on this side of the world in the club soccer system, always kind of had your back padded, right? Make sure that you were always happy. I would kind of expect this. Like that to me, like it makes sense. They've never had the perspective of playing in any other league around the world. Cool. Like you want your fans to always cheer you on. I get it. But like this just doesn't make sense. Like Rigoni was getting slammed by Austin fans last season, and this never happened. And I don't know, man. I get it. He had an MVP year in 2022. He fell off in 2023. 24 has been a mixed bag. Like I understand. It's just he's still your best player.
I think that was a fluke. I think that was just a.
I think it was a team playing sure on momentum, on vibes, but they still did it, right? The results are still there. They made it to the Western Conference Final. They lost to the eventual champion. Like it's still there, and you don't take that result away from them. But either way, like Driussi had an insane season. What was it, 22, 23 goals, something like that? As a cam, right? As a 10. It's just I get that why Austin fans are frustrated. They have a right to be as a paying fan base. Driussi should take this one across the chin and move on, in my opinion. But let's get to predictions. I think a draw is best case scenario for Austin, in my opinion. Like the last few games, they just have they're toothless in attack, don't have any firepower. Driussi's gone soft. Man. And Austin is undefeated against Houston right now in the season. I think that they can't pull it off 3 games in a row.
I think that changes 2-1 Dynamo.
Yeah, I think 2-1's a good pick. 2-1 Dynamo.
I agree that it's going to be a 1-goal game. I think either it's 2-1 or 1-0, but it's going to the Dynamo.
Mo?
I guess a little bias. My hope is 1-1, so they lose 2 points each teams, but I'll definitely see a Houston 2-1.
The agenda.
Well, I got to keep the math right for a little bit longer.
Yeah. Beef with Texas.
Yeah, let's go, man. Let's go. Actually, St. Louis and Texas teams have some pretty epic games, even this season. Like it's
well, I think we still get a little bit of with Austin because how they welcomed us to St. Louis, to the MLS.
The battle of expansion teams.
Yeah, they were the first one to bash us early on when we joined, even though we kind of whooped them from there, but. Still, I think.
Which, by the way,
they literally passed you a ball to score a goal.
True.
Yeah. Never forget.
Yeah, never
forget. It was the St. Louis kid too that did it. So
One thing to keep in mind too. We got this request in the comments from the last video, and I think it's a great idea. I think talking about where MLS could go next, maybe ranking the expansion teams that have already kind of moved through the MLS recently, and where MLS could go next as a league and how those cities kind of stack up. I think it's an interesting topic of conversation. So keep an eye on the channel, lads. That could be an interesting one. All right, let's move on to our fourth preview. Real Salt Lake hosting Portland. Look, man, Salt Lake, they're not in prime Salt Lake form after watching them play against my team Dallas last night. A team that's Dallas that's trying to make playoffs and kept it close as a 3-2 game on the road. Real Salt Lake was just a little more clinical. They had far less chances and just converted the ones they had. One was a PK, one was a half field chip, right? So 2 of the 3 goals, I don't know how often those actually take place. That's why I say I think it's a little bit interesting right now for Real Salt Lake fans and thinking about what this team could do in the postseason or what this team could do leading up to the postseason, right? So, look, second in the West, LAFC will catch them. They have what is it? Hector, 3 games in hand that we talked about.
Yeah,
I think it was 3.
2 or 3 now.
Yeah, 2 or 3 now. So I think LAFC catches them, but they'll probably still finish top 3, top 4 in the West. And this is going to be probably a similar type of opponent that they will see, right? Probably in Salt Lake, in Portland.
It's just one game for LA and Salt Lake. It's 2 games for the Galaxy.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So with that said, Portland, look, I know we got a Portland guy who's coming into our videos and commenting and really backing his team. I love it, bro. I think more MLS fans need to do that, even with where that team is right now. They're still in a wild card spot. This is probably a must win because Portland has a pretty decently tough run of games between now and decision day. They do. They got more than a few Stark opponents. And so they beat the Galaxy. It was at home. They're going to have to go on the road. I think if Portland, I've been so 50-50 on Portland. If they want to show me that they're legitimately a playoff team and they're not going to just end up in the wild card and kind of get lucky and maybe get past that and get knocked out in the first round, this is where they do it, right? Like if you can't go to Real Salt Lake, who has their own struggles right now, defensively, keeper-wise, up front, they're somewhat hit or miss. Julio had to literally, like I said, pull 2 goals out of his ass to beat Dallas. So if Portland can't go there and make this game super competitive, at least pull out a draw, I don't know what they do in these road playoff games that might be coming up. So I don't know how you guys feel about this one. For me, it smells like a draw, but it wouldn't surprise me if Salt Lake won. Like, I don't know. Evander deserves some MVP love, like just even being in that conversation. He's not going to win MVP, but he should be in that conversation, but it may not be enough. I don't know. This kind of feels like a draw to me. How do you guys see it?
I kind of see it probably as a draw. And I've not watched so much of Real Salt Lake, but Portland, we've seen them with CD so many times, but they've been so much up and downs. From what you can see, they're either playing whenever there is at his best. That's where Portland is actually at his best. But then once he's having an off day, that's when you see him lose. And Salt Lake, from what I've seen from their fans, even though they're in second place, they still have that question mark of how well they were doing the playoffs. So it's quite interesting to see their own fans have a lot more questions from their team.
Mm-hmm.
But LA Galaxy win, I'm not really impressed as much because LA looks like they're also on and off on the road. So I'll give it to, as a tie game, probably a 1-1 game.
Yeah,
unless Evander just wakes up and
I know Portland fans will point to the 3-0, right? The last time they played, but again, it was in Portland, right? Like they haven't beaten Salt Lake on the road, like in Salt Lake, since 2021. So it's either been a draw or a win for Real Salt Lake. So
call me crazy. I think that changes. This weekend. I'm gonna go 4-3 Portland. I think this is gonna be a crazy goal scoring affair where, once again, Portland, their defense is shit, but their offense is there to pick it up, and all you got to do is just you outscore your opponent, you win. And I think Portland has the ability to do that. I mean, they did it to the Galaxy. I think with
but again, that was at home. That's the only only issue with that is that was at home.
But you mentioned that Salt Lake has some struggles of their own.
They do.
So I think a team like Portland that has really good attacking talent, better than Dallas. No offense, but I think right now they're better than Dallas. I just think that they could take the opportunities, and somebody like Evander could take the game by the scruff of the neck and just rustle them over the line to get a win.
Portland lost to Dallas this season, by the way. Just saying.
Oh man,
It's MLS, brother. It's MLS, brother.
Well, you know what?
It's MLS,
I
brother.
think that that Portland fans are gonna not be happy because Davi called it their defense shit. But
It's true. I mean, our defense. I mean, if they want to call our defense shit, yeah.
I mean, we've been saying that though. That,
No.
I mean, I get what that one guy is saying. His point, what he didn't even. I don't think he even disputed it. I think he just said we never give up. That was like his retort to that.
And because of that spirit,
Okay.
I'm gonna back
Okay.
Portland.
Okay.
Fight and win, right? That's the Pac Northwest motto,
that's
bro.
Seattle.
They-
That's
wait,
Seattle.
they
I
never
don't give
give
up.
up. But how many goals did they give up this season?
Yeah, fair enough.
quite a
Fair
lot.
enough. Quite a few.
Quite a few.
It is 60-50. Holy shit.
Holy shit. 50 goals, bro. That's down there with 12th through 14th in the West. That's what that's all that I'm saying. It's like I'm not saying they're a bad team. It's just it's hard.
They
There's a
can't
reason
defend.
the saying is defense wins championships. When you don't have a defense, it's just that much harder. If you can't keep goals out,
But
there's a
I'll
lot
say
of pressure
something
to score.
positive. I'll say something positive for the Portland fan just to say we said something nice. Their best defense is their offense. And I think that's what Portland needs to hope every single game is just to go out and win in a shootout.
Yeah.
But like you said, that attack, it comes and goes, depending who they play against. I think it's very fortunate that they're going up against Real Salt Lake, a team that now feels like they lost a dog in them and they're just trying to find it now. I think if Real Salt Lake still hasn't found their dog, it could be real easy for Portland to come in and take advantage of it because they have not looked as formative as they did in earlier this season, and that worries me, especially because I was loving everything about Real Salt Lake this year because of how dog they were.
Yeah.
But if this goes into a shootout, kind of what Davi was saying, like a 4-3, I can see Portland winning this game, and I'm actually going to give it to Portland. I think they get their first win in Salt Lake, or in the whatever how long it's been.
Yeah. I can see that too. Like I said, for me, it's if it ends up in a draw, it's exactly what I predicted. But if Portland were to come in and win, it would be slightly more surprising than if Salt Lake won, and in a good way. I'm not I'm not saying Portland's trash. I'm not backing them to lose every game. Like it's just maybe I'm a defender at heart. I feel like there's some pride in that and being able to keep clean sheets and keep goals out of the net. And if you can't do that, I think it's difficult to win. But if your offense is that good, yeah, especially in playoffs and especially on the road in playoffs, keeping goals out of the net is how you can get those games across the line, especially in a series where there's those two legs that we have to talk about. So yeah, we'll find out. So we have 2 Portlands and 2 draws, right? Is that what we said?
Yes.
Dude, nobody has Salt Lake winning this game. All right. Times have changed on Wake Up MLS. We'll see how it goes.
They need to find their dog, man. They need to find their dog.
The most concerning loss recently in late August was when they dropped to San Jose at home 2-0. Like that honestly, that's when I was like, this team's different. Like
that was crazy.
I don't know what has to happen to get them back up, but we'll see how it goes. All right, finally, Galaxy talking about Portland, right? They just lost to Portland 4-2 on the road, taking on the Whitecaps, who just drew to Houston. I think for them, solid draw on the road, I guess you could say. They came from behind. They were down 1-0 and came back and got the point. They're fighting to try and just make sure they don't have to play a wild card game. That's where they are now. Galaxy, maybe they're in cruise control. Maybe they're not. Who knows? They have enough star power where they don't necessarily have to, go all out for these remaining matches. But I know they'll want to win this one, especially, coming off 4-2 loss. I think Greg Vanney is going to want to be like, hey guys, we got fucking scored on 4 times. Like, got to flip this around. This is going to be honestly, this is a tough game for me to call because Galaxy are so almost like Portland to an extent. They have more star power, but they're kind of like Portland. They're just up and down. They'll beat LAFC. They'll lose Chicago Fire. They'll beat Real Salt Lake in prime Real Salt Lake, and then they'll lose to FC Dallas. Like it's so volatile. So with that said, they will be at home in Carson. You defend your home field, like it's your fucking house, which it is. I think the Galaxy should win this game. I'd be kind of surprised at this point of the season if Vancouver went in there and stole 3 points. How do you guys see it?
I think Galaxy wins this. I think they dispatch them quite comfortably.
Comfortably? I don't know if it'd be comfortable. I think the Caps deserve a little bit of love. Well, let me see. When you say comfortable, what's comfortable for you? What's the score line you see?
2 goals.
Oh, okay. A clinical. All right. That's not terrible. I I think you look at this match previously, right? Like Galaxy and Caps head to head. Galaxy actually won on the road previously back in April. Last year, I don't really want to count that because it's a very, very different Galaxy team. So revenge game, right? They lost 3 or they won 3-1. Can Vancouver channel that revenge game energy into this game and defeat LA Galaxy on the road? Is that a possibility?
I think with
I'd
Vancouver
say so.
right now, a lot of players are getting healthy again for Vancouver. We saw White come off as come in as a substitute in that Dynamo game, and I mean he looked pretty decent out there. I think that's going to be a good, at least a helpful thing for them is to get fully healthy. But I think that there's still going to be an adjustment period. I think that for Vancouver, it's just their ability to able to just slip one into the opponent, and I mean very solid defensively as well. I mean Dynamo had some good opportunities, but they were able to clear those balls out really well. The only reason they gave up a goal was because of a penalty. So I mean, you got to give hats off to Vancouver for that one on how they performed defensively. The thing is with the Galaxy is, like you said, they're hot and they're cold. But I don't think I've seen it in back-to-back games. I don't think they stay cold. They usually bounce back pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think for Vancouver, yeah, every game at this point is important to Vancouver to stay away from that wild card spot. Basically, every team that's in that wild card area is like, I don't want to be in that wild card round. And so I think it's going to be pivotal for them to get a win, get some points, especially if the Dynamo are right behind them, and if they're able to get a victory against Austin, that can easily jump them over against Vancouver. But yeah, I got the Galaxy, man. I think Galaxy comes in. Like I said, I don't expect them to have back-to-back bad performances, and I think that they come in and win 2-0.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think because it's in Carson, this just favors the Galaxy heavily. It should anyway. I kind of agree with Davi that it might be a clinical like 1-2 goal gap, just because of it being in Carson and because we know how they tend to perform there. I will say this though. I mean, the two leading goal scorers for each team, right? Joveljic and White. There's a goal that separates them, and they play the same amount of matches, 24. So, if both players are on, this could actually be a really, really good game, really fun game to watch. And it's going to be the one that kind of one of the ones that closes out the night along with San Jose and St. Louis. So I don't know,
Well,
man.
I mean, remember that's going to be if I'm assuming what the Whitecaps are going to do. This is going to be White's first start in a while.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, and Joveljic has missed some games too, right? But now they're right on par with how many games each of them have played, and there's only one goal that separates them. Both very good strikers. So, look, we got everybody's picking except for Mo. Mo, how you feeling?
I'm expecting not LA. I'm expecting LA not to lose back to back, and they're back home. So I'll give them a 3-0 win.
Ooh.
Vancouver. Well, there's a lot of traveling,
yeah.
for Vancouver to begin with, and
that's true.
They did lose 4-2 to Portland, so I'm sure there's a revenge play, and you're playing at home. I don't expect Vancouver to come back, and especially traveling to the Midwest and then go back to Vancouver and then all the way back to the West Coast. It takes its toll. So
it does. It does.
And
you have like a built-in travel day there. You don't know how much actual preparation they might have to do for the Galaxy. And meanwhile, right, Galaxy went just up north a little bit to Portland, and they come right back down to LA. So, yeah, for the logistically, this could just favor the Galaxy all the way around. So I think we're all in the same boat here, man. Galaxy should win, but again, right, it's MLS. It would not surprise me if the Caps make this thing a game, and if they do, man, if they go on the road after going down to Houston, go on the road to Carson, get another result. I feel like you're going to start kind of building some momentum, interesting momentum heading into playoffs. So we'll find out. We'll see how it all goes. But that's it, man. Those are our previewed matches for match day 34. Let's get a quick fire predictions. We'll go ahead and kick things off with Charlotte hosting New England.
Charlotte.
Charlotte
has not looked that great. I mean,
New England
never looked great, but
I mean, it's New England.
Are you going for a draw?
I'm gonna go draw. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna go draw. Mo?
I'll say New England.
There you go. The contrarian. I like that, bro.
Maybe Bobby Wood will surprise us again.
Ooh,
We'll
man,
see.
snooze fest of the
Montreal hosting Chicago. What's going to be the most anticipated game of the year, probably?
Draw.
You know what, man? I know I was like staving off on Chicago because, like, honestly, they just let me down way too many times this season. But if on the back of this very positive news of Greg Berhalter's pending hire, if you can't go up there and get a win, I don't know, man. You might not deserve Triple G. I'm gonna say Chicago.
Wait, are they going to Canada?
Yeah.
There's no way I pick Chicago.
I like
There's
that.
no
Yeah.
way.
And Montreal holds a place in my heart, so I'll say Montreal. But no, I can't.
Some French Canadian love.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hector?
No.
Give me Chi-Town.
Yes, let's go, baby. Upset incoming.
I thought we were friends, Hector.
I think a lot of things.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Red Bulls hosting Atlanta. Atlanta need this dub.
Jersey boys.
But so does New York or New Jersey.
Yeah, or New Jersey.
Jersey boys are gonna do it.
You think so?
Yeah.
They're kind of on this 4-game negative bounce right now.
Well,
have not
hoping
won
for a draw
since-
or a draw or an Atlanta win, but I think the Jersey boys are gonna do it.
Yeah, Jersey boys have not won in about a month now.
Oh man, I think I might have to go with Atlanta.
They just played Messi very, very well.
I can't wait for a 0-0 draw next week in the Hudson River Derby.
I think I'm gonna go with Atlanta. I think if they can go up there and do what they did against Miami, even just play in that manner with the urgency, with the amount of heart they showed in that game, and honestly the chance creation that they had, this will be a very tough game for the Red Bulls. I'm gonna say Atlanta.
I like those picks.
Mo?
I've not followed much of those teams, but I think I'll go with Jose on Atlanta. Just
he felt the passion. He's like, you know what? I like that dude's pick,
Atlanta.
bro.
I don't give a shit. I'm flipping to Atlanta.
Feeling
He
the
couldn't do it. I
Atlanta
knew
heat.
Dobby couldn't stick it out, bro. I knew he couldn't say Jersey boys and just hold on to it all the way through. I was waiting on it.
Felt the hot Atlanta heat.
Yeah.
AJ's gonna hate us, bro. All right.
Nick Cushing's on that Atlanta seat right now.
Dallas hosting LAFC. Give me some love, guys. Give me some love. Come on. Give me inspiration. Give me inspiration.
I guess
Austin,
I might as well
Austin just drew them in LA. Austin just drew them in LA.
I'll just apologize now, Jose, but that one I can go with.
Bro, that's all right. Fair enough. All right, that's cool. That's cool. I'll take
Do
it.
you have
I'll
a
take
favorite
it.
college football team?
What's
Oh,
that?
man.
Football team? What?
This man's trying to make me cry on stream, bro. That's crazy.
Texas
Maybe you
Heat
should
stroke 1-1.
just worry about the Cowboys.
No, bro, I'm in shambles there too. Okay, anyway, we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole.
They totally beat the Ravens.
You could be me. You could be me. It's worse. It's always worse.
Bro, dude,
They totally beat the Ravens.
At least you guys have a football team for my Addis St. Louis folks. I don't.
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
really matter to me what it is, but you know,
Yeah, that's fair enough. They're in LA now. You're an LA Rams fan.
I'm not a fan in football just in general. So
Look, man, a lot of bias, obviously, right? But I'm gonna say, look, we did beat LAFC last season. Granted, we're a different team last season. 2-0 at home. It's not gonna be 2-0. If we win, it'll be 2-1. I'm gonna say 2-1 Dallas. But I'm probably gonna be let down, so we'll see.
Texas Heat stroke makes it 1-1.
It is gonna be hot. It is gonna be hot. That is true. That is
Wait, this is during the day?
It's gonna be like 95 degrees.
No, I'll be in the evening, but I mean, even right now, it's still 87. I mean, it's not like it's right now. It's when the game will be ending, so it will be hotter.
Purely because of that, I'm giving you guys a point.
Let me check the weather.
Oh, here we go. Meteorologist Hector to the rescue for LAFC.
This is it's been a long time. I haven't done this in a while.
We actually haven't. Yeah,
Frisco, Texas.
we haven't done. We did it for a long stretch after the Blizzard game, and we haven't really done it since. So
it's gonna be partially cloudy. Lows are 77 degrees and the highs are 95. So maybe like 87.
yeah, It'll be hot, bro. It'll be hot.
So for Californians, that's hot. So
Facts. I need Denny Bawanga to feel that heat.
Is that hot for France?
I would say yes.
Hot. That's pretty hot.
Those French guys are Parisian or near it, so yeah, it's hot.
Or do you need me to tell you the Celsius?
No, I've lived here long enough for that one.
All right, so you guys are all back in LAFC then? Am I the only Dallas guy here? All right. Oh, actually, Dobby had draw. Dobby had draw. We're good.
Yeah,
Draw.
Wow.
Mo? I know what Mo's going to say. Mo's going to say LAFC take the win.
Yes.
All right, there we go.
Okay.
We'll move it on.
France FC is going to take the win.
France FC is going to take the win, according to Mo. All right, we'll see how it goes. Nashville hosting Cincy. This is where our Nashville claims either hold weight or they don't.
Cincy.
Hector, I don't know, bro.
Damn it. No, I said that this was going to be a loss. I did say it was going to be a loss when we were talking about it. They still have to play like they still got after this and NYCFC. I mean, it's cool runnings. But
I'm going to say draw.
Give me Cincy.
Mo?
Cincy in that Skyline chili, even though it tastes terrible.
Does it taste terrible? It looks like it would taste good.
I'm not a fan. It's got cinnamon in it.
Oh, it does.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You just lost them.
Yeah, it looks good though. Pictures of it look phenomenal. I mean, I haven't had it, but it looks good. I'm a chili guy though. I like chili.
Worst thing I ever did was eat that. Yeah, but...
Don't tell me that Lester that. I saw him raving about it.
I was told not to. Wife is from Ohio. We drive by it all the time, and she shakes her head. It's like, no, don't do it. So we have it.
Got the buy-in from the local fan. Yeah, never mind then. I'm not excited about it anymore.
But
all right,
Nashville, Cincinnati.
I still back a draw though. Still back a draw.
I'll say Nashville because no way I'm picking Cincy, but in Nashville I got that.
Mo's got beef with everyone.
I know, bro.
Yeah, no. So we're having a recording. Those teams have beef with City.
Why?
Yeah.
Because
to be fair, you guys are a loud, rambunctious bunch. I will say that.
And unfortunately, since I have a little bit more presence online, so they tend to gravitate towards me with all of their crazy jokes.
The clap back. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And they all bring back the football, which I could care less about than hockey, and So yes, so they have beef with City, and
there you go.
I have to be low.
And now even more beef because he basically just shit on the Skyline chili. Like I mean, it's like there's no going back.
That's a national
the rivalry exists.
The rivalry has been cemented.
Man, Moose is man, dude. It's quite the year with you and rivalries, man.
Man's moving different this season. I like it, bro. I like it.
I'm learning from the best.
Speaking of rivalry, Kansas City hosting Minnesota. So we know how Mo's going on this one, and there's no need to even bring it up.
Is this a rivalry?
Good point.
No, I'm saying Kansas City, the rivalry. There's no way he's back Kansas City.
This went way over my head.
Actually, I've seen.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've seen MLS brand this the nicest rivalry ever.
Really?
Yeah, but this was like 2017, 2018.
Oh, you know what? I can totally see that. Yeah. When Minnesota was just kind of getting in, it's like, all right, let's start some random beef.
The map was a little bit empty.
Yeah. But from Mo's perspective, this is interesting. So Minnesota has a coveted place that you want. You need them to probably drop points, but you hate Kansas City. How do you go?
Well, let's clarify too. It's Kansas City, Kansas that I hate. Kansas City, Missouri are fine, and those are my people.
So you like the academy, but you don't like the first team.
Yes. No, neither. They're both the same. But yes.
Yeah.
Does that make you a Chiefs fan?
I don't follow football.
Okay, fair enough.
He's strictly footy.
Yes. Footy only.
No,
that's the way God intended it.
But yes, I'm hoping for a draw. But from what I'm seeing, Kansas City is getting a little hot, as they typically do when it comes towards the playoff, even though they're on the lifeline as well. But Minnesota also, I was not too impressed. So let's make it a tie game. Losing 2 points will be all right. But there's a small piece of me of like just the football person that might have to give it to Kansas.
I'm going to say SKC just because of that 4-1 drubbing of Colorado. Like, that's what sticks out to me. At home, they're at home again at Children's Mercy Park. I just think it'll be close. It won't be a 4-1, but I can see SKC winning this.
I'm going to go 1-1.
Minnesota hasn't been great in a while. Give me Kansas City.
Yeah. All right. We'll see how it goes.
Hector is 0 for 2 now. It's not a good look.
Yeah. At this point, I might as well be signing with Argentina.
And then you'll be 0 for 3 from that one.
After that, the bridge has been
I think
burned.
that might be 1,000.
Yeah. Colorado hosting Toronto.
Pids.
Yeah.
Pids.
Yeah, I can see that too, actually. Give me the Rapids.
Go Colorado.
Mo, you got beef with them or no?
Oh, yes, I do.
Ironically,
the entire Western Conference.
loss.
Toronto.
There it is. There it is. I like
I got
it.
beef with them. If only the allegations were true, then we wouldn't have this guy in charge. But it is what it is.
The hot takes are running about. San Jose hosting St. Louis.
You know what, Mo's here. I gotta back the Louis, don't I?
Yeah, I think so, bro.
I gotta go one for something at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. And plus, bro, it's San Jose. I mean, there's just like, when have we ever backed this team? I can't think of it. Well, there might have been some scenarios early in the season where we picked them to win, but I honestly can't think of an episode since then, week over week, where we backed San Jose at all. I'm not back. I'm not going to start now. Even on the road, St. Louis.
Yeah, I'm going with the Lou.
Same thing, Davi?
Yeah.
All right, Mo, you got a clean sweep, bro. No one's
right.
trying to. We're not trying to start any beef, bro. We're good. Hands up. We're good. We're good.
We need our first away game. If we can win that would be a great way to start a conversation.
Hey, bro, as fan of a team who only has one road win this season, I feel that through and through, bro. Maybe you got to play DC, bro. Maybe you got to play DC. I heard that's the path to getting that road dub.
Or you can play us. Or you
can play us. Speaking of Philadelphia, hosting DC United. DC's actually better on the road, but Philly got 5 goals against NYCFC. They're pushing for playoffs. I think it's going to be Philly, yeah.
It's going to be Philly.
They're both, by the way, they're tied on 33 points, 9th and 10th this one. This is a massive game.
Oh, so they can jump in and get that wild card spot.
With a win, DC could do it.
You know what? Honda's not here. I'm gonna do it for my boy. I don't know why I'm pointing up. He's alive.
He's over here like pouring one out for Honda.
Pour one out for the homie.
Yeah. We see a little ball of OE. That's hilarious, man. I still back Philly.
Give me DC.
DC. Mo, same thing.
So no beef. So it's a good start on that one.
Fully Eastern Conference, so you know.
Yes, and plus I got former players on both sides. So,
right.
Oh, that's right.
I will say DC. Because
Kevin Sullivan comes in and scores a brace. No, I'm kidding. That's not going to happen. That'd be wild if that shit.
He outpaced Kevin O'Toole. He forced Kevin O'Toole to fucking push him down.
Yeah, dude, that'd be insane, bro.
Grown ass man, bro. Grown ass man.
Yeah, grown ass man. All right, man. That's it. Those are our predictions. That's how we see it all going this week, man. This was a great episode. If you thought so as well, if you haven't done so already, smash the like button. It's a free layer of support that goes a long way. And subscribe. A lot of content coming. Maybe a couple live shows coming between now and the end of the season as well. So keep an eye out for that. But that's it. That's everything from here, from everybody here at Wake Up MLS. My name's Jose. That's Hector. That's Mo. That's Davi. We'll catch you guys next time.